So yesterday they released the retractable barrel for the striker. So I've made a few videos about this in the past, but now that it's officially out and I can finally use it against, in just regular multiplayer instead of just the training room, I thought I'd give you my final initial thoughts about this barrel and whether or not it's actually useful. So this is supposed to be, I'm assuming, the signature attachment for the weapon. I'm not really that sure because it doesn't label it as a signature. There's usually some sort of logo next to a signature attachment to let everyone know that it is a signature attachment, but for some reason, this one is not labeled as such. But for the sake of this video, it definitely is a signature attachment. I mean, it's only for this specific gun anyways. So the signature attachment, basically what it does, it kind of provides somewhat of like the same range of like a ranger or a marksman barrel, but with far more ADS bullet spread capability. So basically what this does is that it gives you far more ADS bullet spread accuracy, or I guess pellet spread accuracy, since it's a shotgun. This means that it's going to be a lot easier to land one-shot, two-shot kills. Of course, it doesn't provide the same amount of range compared to the marksman barrel, but it does provide a lot less downsides, given that you get a lot more accuracy and somewhat a bit like of range. I think it's up to like 20% if I'm correct, and I think the accuracy goes up by like 30%. So it's a massive amount, but even with this shotgun, I don't really think it's going to be that noticeable. I've used it a few times, and I feel like I've done certain things with it that I could probably just easily do with a marksman barrel. I think the reason for that is that the marksman barrel provides a lot more range. I think it's like 30 to 35, but here I think it's only like 20%. So really the amount of range kind of makes up for the accuracy in some ways. You could say that about like, vice versa. Like you have the accuracy that makes up for the lost range, and it could help two-shot a little bit better, but they're really kind of interchangeable. Some people are recommending that you use it with slug rounds, but again, the striker slug rounds aren't really that great. I think like up to, I don't even know, maybe 14 meters, you're going to be able to two-shot, then it just goes down to a three-shot. But it might help, especially if you're trying to land your shots accurately. But again, it doesn't really matter with this one. There's only like certain shotguns where you would find an attachment like this to be really useful, like such as the R9. I mean, if you've seen the slug rounds for that one, they're not really that accurate. Sometimes they don't shoot straight for the most part, but when it comes to like the striker, the Echo, the Buy 15, the KRM, they're pretty much straight shooters. And again, this is only pertaining to slug rounds. But again, giving like a retractable barrel to like, let's say the R9 or some other shotgun will just make it completely overpowered. Imagine that going to the KRM or going to the Buy 15 or even the Echo of all things. It's going to be too powerful. But with the striker, this gun has a lot more, I guess, bullet spread compared to the other guns. I would say at the most, because typically when I shoot at a wall, with like max ADS bullet spread attachments, the pellets are usually like really, really close to each other. But with the striker, they always seem to be much more far apart compared to other shotguns. So I think the whole reason as to why they released an attachment like this for the striker specifically was to equalize it alongside all the other shotguns. Because again, this one kind of felt like it was falling behind. I mean, if you're thinking about semi-automatic shotguns, you would probably want to use the Echo a little bit more, or maybe some other like shotgun like the R9. But most people would not dare to even touch the striker. And I obviously know that you guys are going to say that, well, there are people that are grinding the leaderboard for it. Yeah, those are the exception to the rule, but a massive majority of players that use shotguns are probably not going to stick to this one. They're probably going to use the slug round BY or the KRM or even the JAK 12. But the striker hasn't really been relevant in this game for a very long time. Yes, this barrel does help immensely, especially when it comes to one-shotting and two-shotting from a certain range, but that's more or less all it does. But I will say, however, this one is kind of mixed all over the place. I can't really explain it, but it does help. Like, it does feel like it helps, but sometimes I feel like it doesn't. So it's very iffy, when it comes to this attachment. Like, sometimes it will feel like it's good, but again, like, that you could have just been lucky. It's really hard to tell, and it doesn't really feel like it increases the accuracy by that much. And I know a lot of touch players love using the hip fire more than the ADS. Yeah, this attachment's not really gonna be, it's not really gonna be too helpful for those who like to hip fire compared to those who like to use ADS options. But you know, on the controller side, yeah, it's definitely gonna be useful because, you know, with controllers, I think it's more efficient if you actually ADS instead of like hip firing, because I don't know, the hip firing in this game, especially when you use controller, it's a little off sometimes. I don't usually like doing, you know, hip fires unless it like the person's like right there in front of me. But for the most part, I usually just stick to ADSing. So now pertaining to the class setup that I have, I do have the choke with the RTC retractable barrel. Obviously, it's the point of the video. I mean, come on. It's OWC laser tactical, as well as a 16 round extended mag and the granulated grip tape. So yeah, I use a full accuracy build that goes up to 69. But anyways, yeah, the retractable barrel, like I said, it can be helpful. Sometimes it feel like it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. It's all over the place. I could pretty much do the same shit with like a marksman barrel, and it has more range, by the way. So yeah. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure to subscribe for some more COD mobile content. I'll see you guys next time.